You don't suck just because you're stuck below 10K per month. It's just because you don't understand the game yet. You don't understand how getting to 10K per month actually works in reality, and nobody really tells you what is required and how you should approach it from a mindset standpoint. When you get into online coaching or online business in general, this can apply across the board depending on what you're trying to get into. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to break down for you how you actually get to 10K per month. Not in terms of the actual logistics of what you need to do, because you know what you need to do. You understand that if you're a coach, you need to post content, send DMs, have a high ticket offer. You understand that if you're an e-com, you need to set up a store, spend more money on ads. You understand that if you're in an agency, you need to do more outreach and get better at sales. You understand that these are the things you need to do. And every single mentorship that you join, you might have been in multiple at this point, they tell you the same thing every single time, but still you're stuck under 10K per month, wondering why you can't do it. I'm going to break down for you how you need to think and feel in order to approach this goal. So the first thing we're going to cover, we're going to get it on the whiteboard to make it official, is mastery of skill over tactical solution. Okay? Now, what most people do when they first try to get into online business is they look for the correct ad strategy, some setting to turn on in the Facebook Ads Manager, a little tweak to do on Instagram. They search for a tactical solution, something to do. But that's not how this works. You see, the people that are making the money, the big bucks, the people that are at £100,000 per month or £200,000 or even £1 million per month in their business. These people, they do these basic tactical solutions and have been doing the same basic tactical solutions that you keep getting told, but they are focused on mastering the skill over searching for new tactical solutions. What most people do that are stuck under 10K per month is they search and search and search and search and search for these tactical solutions rather than focusing on the mastery of the skill. You see, 10K per month, it doesn't come from an external thing that you will implement into your business or into your life. It comes from you. It is an internal journey. 10K per month, I know it sounds crazy. 10K per month is an internal journey. Sounds like woo-woo, crazy, magic manifestation stuff. Look, believe what you want to believe, but the biggest reason why people don't hit 10K per month, and this is kind of the second point that we're going to get onto here, is not because they're incompetent. It's because they get off the train too soon. And they get off the train too soon because they get too disheartened. Between zero and 10K per month is the most emotionally turbulent part of being an entrepreneur. That's why most people don't get there. That's why most people don't do it, because their emotions consume them to the point of they can't act. They get to the point where they are so stressed out. They get to the point where they're not sleeping, not eating, not focusing on going to the gym or looking after their body, looking after their health, developing their learning. They get so consumed by the pain of not being at 10K per month, or so consumed by the pain of doing the tasks that you need to do in order to get there, that they just quit. They just say, I'm not doing this anymore. It is not worth it. So listen, that's why mastery of skill is more important than searching for tactical solutions, because if you keep searching for like the right thing to do and you keep changing and switching what you're doing, you're just going to drive yourself insane. Whereas if you focus and go inwards on yourself and focus on mastering yourself and the skills that you're trying to develop, you're going to get there. Think about building a physique, for example. If we imagine having a six-pack abs and a relatively decent chest like myself, then I got this body through chipping away. If we think of that sort of body being the 10K month of being in fitness, I got that body through chipping away. Chipping every single day, through my diet, through the 10K steps that I did every day, through the supplements I was taking, through the lifts in the gym, progressive overload, 2.5 kg or 1.25 kg at a time, progressively overloading myself to get stronger. That physique was developed like brick by brick by mastering myself and my skill of actually developing that physique. It is the exact same with your business. You can do it with your physique. You can get into good shape, especially if you're a coach. One of my coaches watching this right now, You know you can get into shape and you understand that as a principle of getting into shape. But when it comes to 10K per month, why is it so much harder? Well, I mean, there's actually a few reasons behind why it is so much harder. Because getting to 10K per month and dealing with content and dealing with money, it's not as dopaminergic as getting in shape, especially if getting in shape comes naturally to you. Like, to be honest, it always has done to me. And if you're a coach watching this, it probably has done to you as well. If you're a younger guy watching this and you're, you know, into the gym and stuff, then it probably has come more naturally to you. But there's not as immediate of a feedback loop when you're getting to 10K per month as there is when you get in shape. When you go into the gym, if you're like, you know, a reasonable body fat percentage, let's say below 15%, you're going to get a pump on. You're immediately going to see yourself looking and feeling better. You're going to get a preview of what your body is going to look like in months and years to come, right? Whereas with getting to 10K per month, you're going to post content, you're going to, you know, launch your ads, you're going to do outreach to people, you're going to get on sales calls, and you are going to get knocked back. And that feedback loop isn't going to be as strong. And in fact, the punishment loop, if we think of like the feedback loop of getting a pump on, is almost like a reward cycle. In getting to 10K per month, there is almost a punishment cycle. Now, it's really important that when you're going to progress to 10K per month, that you see the punishment cycle as what's chipping away at your skill. It's very important that you understand like that pain you feel as you're getting rejected from potential sales, as your content is flopping or your family's going, what the hell are you doing? It's very important that you recognize those pieces of pain. It's the same pain that you get from when you're lifting weights in the gym. That is exactly what's helping you grow further. But it's also the exact same thing that will make you quit. Okay? And this is the game. How much time have we got? I've got to jump on a call in 6 minutes to talk with a client. So I've got 6 minutes to stay here with you, because I can go on and on and on about, you know, what it takes to get to 10K a month. And I'm going to make a part 2 to this video that's going to be a lot longer than this, so that you can just sort of soak up the mindset that you need in order to make that 10K per month, you know, in your business. So subscribe to the channel if obviously you want to see that. But let me help you with a little bit more of a visual on this. And this is like kind of what people do even within, you know, the business that you're in. It's not just about avoiding shiny object syndrome or avoiding these like tactical solutions and being in that mindset. It's also about understanding your time investment and the compound effect that you'll get from doing things. So let's just draw this graph over here. So down here, we're going to have different avenues that you could go down to grow your business. Let's say we've got outreach. Let's say we've got ads. Let's say we've got organic content. And then on the top here, what we're going to have is like the different feedback or levels of progression that you might experience. So let's say, like, you know, your first 1K here. It says 1K if you can't tell. Let's say up here is your first 5K. Let's say at the top is 10K per month. Now, what happens is a lot of people, when they don't immediately see their organic content doing what it needs to do, they might get like a certain amount of time into that. When they don't see that working, what they then do is they go, organic outreach is hard and it's not working for me and it doesn't feel as leveraged, so I'm going to switch to doing ads instead. And then they go and put time into ads. And you know, they might even get to that 1K, they might even get to this 1K threshold and go, cool, that's great. But the gap between that 1K and 5K, they start to get a bit disheartened. They've spent more money than they'd like to on the ads. And they go, do you know what? I'm going to switch down to organic content. I've seen some guru online talk about how that's a better approach, so I'm going to do that instead. And here's something that like you don't understand. When you're switching strategies, and look, this can go for anything. This can go for business models. This can go for diets if you're trying to get in shape. Like, this concept applies. But what most people don't realize, let's say, you know, for example, you then decide, actually, I'm going to start over. I'm going to do organic content. When you pour your time and energy into these other avenues and other routes of making progression, the other avenues that you've been previously pursuing start to take a hit. So let's say you put more effort into, you know, organic content. What then happens is your ads efforts and like the progression in your skill goes down. It's use it or lose it. Right? So what people tend to do is they end up in this constant battle where they're switching between strategy to strategy, and you know, these things, they're going up and then they're going down, and then they're going up, and they're in this cycle because they'll do the organic content, and then they'll go, do you know what, I'm going to switch back to the outreach again. And it goes on and on and on. And this is why you shouldn't, like, you understand what to do with the business. You do. You shouldn't be obsessed with tactical solutions. It should be mastery of skill. This is the game. Advanced people never don't do the basics. Write that in your notes. Advanced people never don't do the basics. The people that you see doing these huge numbers, the people that you see traveling the world, they can just do, one or more of these strategies simultaneously to a high level of skill. And that's why they are where they are. And that's how you're going to get the 10K a month. That's the game. That's how it works. If that was valuable, subscribe. See you in the next.